Yep. What?
I said I had to change my daughter's phone. She doesn't like me doing it, but
Oh, it's gotta happen
she's gonna get
sometimes.
used to it.
Yeah, for sure. What?
Where are you getting into?
Drifting. Trying. This is a weird car, this Dodge. Yeah, this thing's weird. Maybe it's just because it's so much bigger. Or because its tires are 19 inches wide.
Right, that could be too.
Yeah, it just feels weird. It feels more of like the BMW, like kind of more of like a good power slide than a true drift. But damn, it's fun, and I want to change the graphics up a bit. Throw up a YouTube logo, and keep refining it, because that'd be a fun one to have out in a room, you know? Everyone's bringing their vans and shit, and I'm just like, nah, 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 nah. I'm gonna roll up with some of the most gangster shit you've ever seen, you know?
Right.
And then you look close, and you're just like, oh man, dude, like this guy's got fucking Taco Bell symbols and shit on this car, you know? You know, it would be nice to somehow be able to add a little more tension, a little more resistance to the gas pedal.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I
No,
don't know.
I do know. I think I was telling you before. They have a 3D. I could download it. You have to get a shock, a RC shock.
Right, 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 right.
But I could print the mounts.
My only thought with that is that's going to apply resistance when you're depressing, but also when you let go too. Um, and over time, that's just going to weaken the stock spring and kind of almost nullify itself. Um, and I have concerns about how that would feel coming back up. You'd have to find like the right shock that doesn't hamper the let go too much, but also provides some noticeable difference when you depress. And that's just like a weird thought to me. I need to feel it one way, but not the other, you know.
Right.
So I wanna I need to figure out a way where I could do something along those lines, but just with more or a stronger spring, or even like maybe like a foam, but probably not. I don't know. I'm just being picky. I do know I'm gonna take a 25 milligram edible at work tomorrow. I don't know when. I don't know what time of day. But I'm almost completely
But
left
why not,
alone.
right?
Yeah, I'm left alone almost completely all day. Um, we've been having we're about to start working through some changes with carrier selection at certain sites, including multiple of mine. All of my sites are changing, so we're about to have a rocky couple of months. Um, but we'll be fine. And we're meeting with some of the new carriers that we've not worked with yet, explaining our team, our expectations, things like that. So we've been having like a lot of power meetings, especially this week. And then today I had a meeting with him at 2. I went to like 2:50. And then another super important meeting at 3 that he wasn't a part of. And he did something that he does truly maybe once a month. Um, I feel like it's less than that, but he just called me out of the blue. Um, and so I was like, Jesus Christ, like I gotta get my shit done today. And I'm having all these extra meetings and all these phone calls and shit. Come on, you know. But I like this that he pats me down for information on metrics. You know, I don't even know how to pull our metrics out of the system and look at them the way he does. But he does all these meetings and is really, really, really good with Excel. And he can basically, you know, put together something that's presentable to our customer in seconds. It's crazy. But, you know, he'll call me and be like, hey, what's going on with this? Or what's going on with that? And it's like right away when he started doing that, I was like, ooh, this is good. Like, he looks at me for information on work stuff. Like that's a good sign. You know? And I had that check-in with him today in anticipation of our meeting tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling that once that meeting adjourns, unless something crazy happens, that'll be the last time I talk to him for the week. So, you know, I might be responsible and wait till 4:30, just so I get a nice little edible hug um, as I'm leaving, or you know, maybe I take it in
Right.
the middle of the day and end up having like 4 ramens in my office. Uh, you know, like because that's pretty much I
Listen,
got
can I
some.
get some more water in here?
Yeah, yeah. I got some mints. I got some gum. You know, I got some snooze, and there I have unlimited access to chilled drinking water and hot coffee machine water. And so all I keep on hand right now is just got some ramens for emergency in case I'm responsible and don't eat too much at night, and then I'm actually hungry during the day.
Right.
Um, you know, here and there I'll be like, oh fuck, I really do need something. Um, but yeah, we'll see how she goes. I saw that on Reddit today. Just happy 420 Eve, everyone. Don't forget to leave out milk and cookies for Snoop Dogg. I was like, oh my god, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I was able to have the dude come by.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah, should Owen stop by? He's like,
Huh?
man, you. Oh, and then Owen stopped by afterwards.
Oh, he came by you? Nice.
Yeah. He's like, what's going on? You know, tomorrow's a holiday. I was like, yeah, he's gonna be here in a little bit. Perfect.
Hell yeah. Good. That worked out well. I didn't even have to, unless, I mean, I doubt it. My phone sometimes doesn't get text, but so I didn't even have to be bothered by it.
Yeah, he asked where you want them made. I just sent him my location, and I was like, well, you name it, like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I didn't even say just come here. I just said this is where I'm at. Where do you want to go? Because he was in Oakbrook.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I'll be there by 5. I was like, well, perfect.
Shit. I want to see his new truck.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, hell
please
yeah.
do.
Come by. Yeah, I bet. What am I looking at?
Yeah, we'll see how things go. If Flora gets this position, I might have to cut back to just late night gaming.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna have to make dinner and do all the shit with the kids after school and stuff for the time being.
Right?
Well, school season anyway.
Right. Yeah? Well, I wish you good luck. I've been there, man. I've been there. And it feels good to be selected. To even have a chance, to even have a swing, you know?
Yeah, they do a lot of internal hiring before
Places like that usually do. Places like that also usually have multiple layers. You might have a new hire and then someone that works in a specialty queue of harder tasks, and then team leaders and mentors, and then like a small group supervisors, and then floor manager. There's so many layers to the hierarchies these days in large companies that there are people that can almost call their own shots. Like, hey, I like doing this thing. I've been in customer service, kind of on the front line, so I get a little taste of everything, and I like doing this part of it. So I want to get into doing that. I've seen people get hired on in customer care and get brought over to AR, get brought over to purchasing, certainly get brought over to sales. That's where everyone kept thinking I should go in all my jobs.
Very good at talking,
Yeah. I just don't.
It just seemed like it would come natural,
I think it might. My old man instilled a fear of sales in me.
Really?
Yeah. But then I mean I've seen it play out where the earning potential's there, but these guys are working 80 hours a week and they're fucking slaves to the role, and if they live like that, the earning potential can be there.
Right?
It depends. I've seen a number, and it's been a lot. The responsibility put on the sales reps in several of the companies I've worked for. But it depends, because both of the distributors I worked for had an open storefront online presence. Come on down, we're open to the public. And they paid money for marketing, online marketing and stuff, but the sales rep drove the business. I mean, them out hunting new accounts and new customers is what drives growth, So it's just weird. I was conditioned to always just prefer the consistent, it's 5 o'clock, I'll see you tomorrow. and just kind of like, you know, the more traditional 9 to 5 office work or whatever. But who the hell knows? All I know is I am very lucky to have what I have right now with my as far as employment. This is not a chaotic environment, which is basically most of what I'd come from. And the ones that weren't chaotic didn't pay any money. And so I found a place where I really don't mind what I do. I kind of get a kick out of it some days. Some days it's stressful. Some days I just bring that upon myself. And I don't even need to stress as much as I do. And like, it pays okay. It has a future. Like, this is exactly what I had been wanting for so many years that I'm just, I don't know, grateful to have what I have. And
Yeah,
but
mine
I
was.
don't take it for granted. At any time, they could be like, hey, you know, we're losing the account. We need you to work out of Oakbrook Terrace now, and it's time to have to go work shoulder to shoulder with people that are way more experienced than me, and everything shifts. You know, like overnight. You just never know. But for right now, I'm a lucky dude.
Oh yeah.
I could just wrap
Good
up my
way,
morning. I could just wrap up my morning meetings at 10:30 and then button up a few emails and then make realtor calls just like it's not a big deal. Because I come from places where, you know, you're on queue, you're on the phone all day, you have to click a button
Right.
if you get up to go take a piss. It's all hyper big brother. And this place was just like, go make people happy, customers building. And that's mostly what
Right.
I've done.
I mean, that's the main
Yeah.
idea behind customer service. Yeah.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Make them feel confident in our ability. And you know, there's so many things that I do. I actually tell this. I mean, I've told this to my teammate that I'm close with a couple of times, but um, truth is, I do my best work when no one's looking. Um, like we had like a magnum opus kind of moment with the old management company
Mhm.
where honestly the walls were closing in. I had been barking at them every single morning for months over things they were doing wrong to the point where I was just boy who cried wolf in it, but still standing up for my company and what the right way of doing things is. And
Right.
other parties were starting to hate on them too, which was new. Like a lot of times they really struggled with the portion of the business that is connected to my company. And a lot of other people would be quiet. Well, now other people were ragging on them. The walls were closing in, and we had a growing backlog, and we were decreasing our output. And like, there was someone from Kimberly Clark in that meeting every day, and he was staying quiet. And I was the guy that was saying, hey, guess what, everyone? It's Thursday morning, and we're being squeezed for output right now, right? We all would agree that we're being asked to hustle right now. It's go time, right? And guess what? We've put out 37% less output than we did last week up through Thursday morning. Like we're putting out less than we did last week with this focus. I'd come up with creative ways, new numbers, new impactful statements that would just tear them down every day. Um,
Mhm.
and so finally one day I come in, and this was just like a month before the announcement that we're getting booed. But Zach, one of the guys who I used to be close with until I really had to turn up the heat, and then he stopped coming around.
Mhm.
Um, Zach, I come in, and Zach had sent me and my team an email with everyone on copy, including Kimberly Clark, primary contacts. And he wasn't, even though he has an MBA, he was not very good at writing. Um, and wrote kind of an erratic email about how everyone's always asking them what they need to be successful, like what we could do to help them be more successful. And so, you know what? He's got an answer for us today. This is what the DC needs to be successful. And it listed a bunch of trailers. all basically aiming at my company, saying we would be successful if it weren't for these guys. And
Bro.
that was a big dig, dude. And he gave us this list of the empty equipment they said they needed in order to be successful. And so I blew off all my other meetings, focused on nothing else for the morning until we rolled into the 10 a.m. And I came ready with, I mean, it was everything I could think of, dude. It was, Zach, you're telling me you need 6 tax air trailers. You have not loaded and notified 6 tax air trailers in one day since I've been here, which is, a year and 3/4 or whatever it was. So you're telling me that you can't be successful because of lack of equipment, but I already know that if I had tax airdrop 6 trailers right now, you couldn't possibly load them all in one day. What's the time span of this request? I find it ironic that you're telling me you need 8 Holland trailers. I've planned 2 Holland trailers a day for the last 2 weeks. And most of those days, you've only loaded and notified 1. So I could go back and count exactly how many days your lack of output has led to this accumulated backlog. Now, at the end of the decreased output, which is the problem, you're trying to draw a line in the sand and say that you can't be successful because of equipment. You've had 2 trailers to load this whole time. You've had 2 empties on site every morning, but you've only pushed 1 of them through. This is an output problem, not an equipment problem. And I just, dude, I was cold, I was professional, and I was fucking right. So where do you think the volume goes if we have 36,000 cubic foot of freight to load in a day, and for whatever reason, I'm not saying that you are the reason, Zach, but for whatever reason, you guys only load out 26,000 cube, what happens to that remaining 10K? Where does it go? We don't roll dates, we don't push volume in LTL. Where does it go? And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And I said, Zach, that's an actual question. I want you to tell me where does that volume go? And no one said, hey, Chris, that's enough. I was bullying him. Hey, you don't have to put him in a headlock like this. But I said, no, I want you to answer it. That was a question. Where does that volume go? And he's like, well, it just rolls over. And I'm like, into a backlog. We've been in a backlog for the last 6 months. So you're telling me that because we have a known, this is house knowledge, output issues, if we're going to start drawing lines in the sand, give me a week. Give me 1 week, and I'll be making the same message this time next week, recapping what you didn't ship that you should have. In fact, I'll be able to tie it to empty equipment because I do the planning and I manage the pools. It was, I just, checkmate after checkmate after checkmate. And I had to really lay into someone else this week in the morning. Pretty seriously.
Really?
Yeah. And it's the same thing, like no one's there. No one's there to see it, from my team. But yeah, it's nuts. Like we go into a new carrier onboarding meeting yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking with a company I've never talked to about content I've never talked about really.
Mm-hmm.
But my boss is doing a good job of explaining how our account works and some of our needs. And he's like passing me the torch constantly. Like, well, Chris, what's your take on that? And hey, how does that work over in Normantown, Chris? And stuff. And I just realized, like, oh man, I'm really starting to make it here. Like, back in the day I'd get nervous, and back in the day when I was newer, I'd like take notes and like sync up with my teammate and be like, hey, what's this meeting about and stuff, you know? Um, what should I bring to it and stuff. Um, and I honestly, I just kind of half-assed it and rolled into these yesterday's and today's meetings, and I mean, was fine. Like today, the lady we're talking, and their terminal's up in Lakeview, Illinois, or something. It's going to be one of the farthest
Mm-hmm.
carriers we have as far as terminal. It's going to take them probably an hour and a half to get a driver down to the DC to pick up. But we're talking, and we're talking to a sales manager in Philly and the local DC branch manager, but he's in Michigan right now. All these career guys that are out traveling, doing stuff, and then their office lady, Leslie, I think. And we're talking, and so when I explained, like, yeah, I'm actually the local guy. I'm the local representation for all of our Chicago output. It's Romeoville, Bolingbrook, Prologis, Bing, Bing, Bing. Here's the beat. And I was like, but honestly, guys, like, just come to me. Just if you have questions, just come to me. And honestly, I'm just going to come with you. I'd come to you when there's questions on startup. I'll just be emailing you guys, and I'll be your point of contact. And Leslie's like, oh, okay, so you're local to Romeoville. Well, that's crazy because I live in Joliet. And it was just funny that, like, I was like, man, I used to get really nervous about these meetings, and now I'm just making small talk with Leslie about how we both live in the same town. It was kind of funny.
It's fine.
Yeah. Another nice thing is those big companies, man, they're always moving people around and creating positions and creating specialty teams and task forces and all kinds of stuff. Even if for some reason this isn't the right opportunity, there's bound to be other ones. I've had opportunities to work on marketing, sales pitches, behind the scenes number analytics, all kinds of cool shit.
Right.
Sometimes sometimes people don't get fully recognized until they've taken one small step or two. I've seen like people that were just instantly way better at the job than I was, and I'll be honest, those people always impress the hell out of me because I was usually okay at what I was doing. And I've seen several of them like go for supervisor roles and then fizzle out and leave. And then I've seen a couple of them like go and get that team leader bump.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately say, oh, thank God, there's no way I could be a supervisor here. And then they either leave or go into another department and stuff, I think that's one of the nice things about work. I mean, I'm assuming there's quite a few employees for a company like Discover, and different specialties and different call centers and coverage levels and just all kinds of complexity.
Oh, there's a lot of people do.
Yeah, that's like not a bad thing. That's sometimes, yes, like Oatmeal is a big fan of the small companies. I kind of am too overall. Like if I could pick it, that's how I'd do it. There's just not a ton of them left. I've also worked for ones like Landware that are kind of scumbags.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's sometimes just like the safety in numbers of, hey man, like I just work here. Like there's so sometimes that actually is not a terrible thing. I don't know how you expect me to answer that. All I know is that I work
Right. Should I call somebody for you?
here. Yeah, when I got hired at VWR, the place where Jim and John worked, um, and John still works. I got brought in with like 6 or 7 other random hodgepodge of people to do just their general customer care phone call stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like right away there was this nerdy, kind of cute chick who had just gotten married and had just like finished school, worked at Starbucks for a while, and was ready. This was like her first big gig. And right away she was something special. She like was remembering things that were super minute and weird, and she was like clearly studying the guides we were getting at home. She was coming in the
Right.
next day knowing things that we hadn't even really truly been taught yet. Yeah, it was nuts. Like right away there was just like, whoa, something's different about Katie. And as far as workmanship goes, it's not a bad thing. Um, and then there was actually a super flamboyant gay dude that also had just come from Starbucks. And right away you could tell this guy, he was like aggressively homosexual. Like he was a superstar, dude. He was like super flamboyant, man, like to the max. It was annoying. Me as a regular
Really?
person, as a regular man, yeah, it was all. I mean, it's not construction, like it's generic office work. It was I always have worked with primarily females, um, but it was mostly chicks in this room. It was a chick instructor, and then me, you know, big giant fat lazy stoner guy with history of doing a little bit of construction, and especially back then I was way closer to that, and backflow plumbing data, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm working for you science freaks. And then there was, Marcus, the the gayest person on the planet. Um, yeah, he was actually a very very nice person. Um, and later on, once we had both like made it through training and were working as separate, not like the new hires, but we like were our own units out on the floor. He and I would occasionally interact, and I'll give it to him. I don't know if it's just because I never once ever played into his flamboyant bullshit. I just brick walled it, or what. But later on, he'd just be much more normal and more real with me. It wasn't all spectacular and super awesome. Like he was just more of a normal dude later on with me, which was nice.
Got past all that fake bullshit.
I kind of did, yeah. It was almost kind of nice because that's when I realized, like, oh yeah, this guy's actually not bad at all. Um, probably I wouldn't say we could be best friends, but like, yeah, I could go and hang out socially with this person around, and it wouldn't be terrible.
About my best.
Yeah, but you could tell like his personality was wild, and
Right.
in today's day and age, like it was working, you know. He dominated that training room with all females for sure, and he fucking knew it, and I knew it. I just didn't give a shit. But he knew how to pull the strings with the estrogen and shit, and sure enough, he went from generic customer care into some specialty queues with different, more tricky workloads like I started doing. And then he branched out and got into sales. And I believe is still doing that. And I also believe is quite successful. Yeah. And so it's funny that you just never know, man. Like there's all these different paths. There's aggressively flamboyant Marcus, who I think had some schooling and was like a youth pastor and had worked at Starbucks in like someplace in the mall or some shit. He just shows up and is really good at sales for a giant scientific supply company. And now I would assume is basically that's more or less his career. I had to bounce around to 5 places to find a good home, you know?
Right.
A place where I'm just like, I got no need to look for right now. Even their accidents are nice. We had gotten these emails like a couple of months ago saying we had hit some sort of growth milestone over our like 50-year. I think my company had like a 50-year anniversary recently.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were all allowed to go to the company store website and pick like a present, and all it was like, I think like, yeah, it was like a hat, like a nice hat, or like a nice shirt. So
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, I just picked I picked, the shirt that looked kind of nice, and that was the end of it. Like, I actually kind of forgot about it. Well, then, like a month ago, I get this box at my door at work, and it's like not even my building really. I'm just kind of like a guest there. I never get packages. And sure enough, I open it up, and it's addressed to somebody else, some other name. I didn't realize it when I opened it. It was just at my door. I thought, like, why else would this be at my door? It must be mine. And I just opened it. And it was addressed to somebody else, but at my building's address. I'm the only person that works for my company at that building. And sure enough, dude, like someone was looking out for me. Super fresh, brand new, black, Hub Group embroidered 3XL polo. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I really genuinely want it. And sometimes, like, when my boss is just like, hey, you should go talk to this carrier over in, their terminals in Willowbrook or something. I'm like, sure, I should go do those things with company logos, man. With the right gear. And I never had a company shirt. So I was like, fuck, I'm keeping this shit. Like, how cool is that? Some, Craig Johnson or somebody, whoever the fuck ordered this, the streams got crossed and I got his shit.
Nice.
And so I thought, well, maybe they just got the names wrong. Was my initial thought. And that was for me at my address, just addressed it to the wrong name. So, like now, like 2 weeks ago, a teammate that works in a different building in Bolingbrook emails me and says, hey, I got a package for you. I just routed it to your building parcel. You should have it within 2 days. And then I get that, open it, and it is addressed to me at the wrong address. And I open it, and then I remembered I never got the black polo. I wanted black polos. I'm probably just gonna buy a few for myself at some point. But I got like a long sleeve like golf shirt kind of thing, which is usually not my style. But the only items we could pick from for free for this 50th anniversary bullshit were these like, like a little bit nicer things. And now I have two gifts from the company.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. That's always nice when companies do that. Compaq used to do that shit, dude.
Well, it's
Like,
just like
when
it's
they knew they couldn't give
sometimes
you a
tough.
raise or something, but you
Right,
could give
right.
the really badass on a project, they had
Right.
like this internal shit where he could be like, hey, I'm gonna give you 500 compact stars
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, right? And then you go in and you could let them accumulate over time and then go
Right.
like trade them in for like a fucking badass laptop, you know what I mean? Or
Mm-hmm.
what, like it was real cool shit. But a lot of it was also shit like you're talking about, like that, like compact shirts or compact hats or real cool shit that you could
Yeah.
only get a certain way, you know what I mean?
At some point now, especially now that I know that they like work clothes are tough for me, dude. Like my entire life, when I was younger, it'd be 2XL. Now I'm like for sure getting 3, and I'm probably towards the higher end of 3. And work clothes are just the wild fucking west, dude. And so now I know that like the black embroidered polo is fucking perfect. Like it's the right length. It fits me very well. And now I'll definitely, because they're not super expensive, but I was like, I don't want to have to buy 6 of these things just to get the right fucking size right,
Yeah.
The fancy pants 3X golf shirt is like crazy too small. Like, come on, This is clearly not right, It's the same thing like Dave Matthews concerts. I usually buy, not usually, but I have several shirts, and I get the 3XL. I wear that all day long, and when I get home, it's like a napkin, dude.
Right.
It's the worst, I know.
Oh, 100%. It's terrible. Some stuff's way off, and work stuff is tough, you know. But I also feel good that now, you know, we have a facility that we run a bunch of freight through in Chicago Ridge, which is a town, you know, a half an hour away from the building I work at, and I've been asked to go there and like shake the tree a little bit, kind of, or ruffle some feathers maybe a little bit, and that's not our building. It's like it's just our freight. So, it would be nice to go and look the part, have, you know, ideally a couple of polos, a couple different colors, and maybe a real nice black jacket, you know, black or gray knit hat.
Ask your boss, dude. Just straight up go, dude.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Like,
I'm definitely gonna. He lucked out because I was gonna ask them to buy me a better chair, a new chair.
You just said that, and they were getting some from the other.
They had a whole ton of them. They were like, "Yeah, take one." They're upstairs, but I absolutely cannot stand the style they were trying to give me. So,
Right.
yeah, and that's just like, okay, fine. You just got to bite the bullet. If you want a nicer one, just go get one. Which I did, and it's wonderful. But
Could you get your own office chair and bring it in?
yeah. I got the same one I have at home.
Hold on one sec.
Well, what are we doing here, boys?
I'm hate to do this to you guys. I think I'm gonna cut it out early today.
Okay. All right. Do what? What are you doing? Silent. Sorry, she was going to bed and talking to me.
So I'm gonna cut out early today.
Damn.
Tired.
So what'd you think, dude? I think after the fall, you think we'll have a good time?
After the fall.
He told me when you weren't here that he hated it.
Did he? Okay.
I was looking to see how I could get a refund, but I don't think
Right.
PlayStation does that.
Yeah, they do.
Did I get a 30-day challenge or something?
No, I think it's within like 4 or 5 days if you haven't played it more than X amount of time.
I don't know about all that.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard they can be pretty
Bullshit.
tight. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't fuck
That
around.
sounded like official business, and I'm just saying I don't know about that business. I don't know about that.
Okay.
Because my son ordered a Minecraft once and he didn't play any time. And I called PlayStation to get a refund. They refunded me, but they made me put passwords and shit. I'm like, oh. Oh, so they're fucking I have to go through a bunch of bullshit to buy shit now.
Right.
Yeah. Two-factor authentication.
Yeah, all because I got a
Your store
refund.
can't stay signed
And
in,
I got a
whatever.
refund, and I was still able to keep the game.
Well, that's a damn shame. I'm sorry to hear that. I you know, was just about to jump back into Gran Turismo after conducting more experiments, expecting at least a little bit of slide time. You know.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm like falling asleep here.
Well, it's because you're not sliding. It's simple. There's an easy fix for that.
Just start sliding. That's the cure.
Yes. Yeah, it's what, 8:11. I would love to be logging off by 8:55 myself. I got 40-ish minutes in me. Nope, nope, nope.
All right, gentlemen. I think I'm off for the night.
You're off too, Rick?
You guys are the
Bunch
worst.
of losers tonight.
Yeah. Hey, go buy this game. Everyone's gonna go to sleep
What game?
after the
Did
fall.
you buy it? Did
Yeah.
you buy it yet?
Yeah.
Well, how much longer are you gonna be sliding for then, bro?
Oh, probably for the rest of my interest in gaming for the night. I don't feel like jumping into a new game tonight.
So
I'm
you
just
want to
saying.
give me shit about the fact you just bought it and everybody's getting offline and then you're not even gonna get on it? Am I getting that right?
Well, where you been? You just came
Wow,
back. What you
bro.
been doing?
You
You
have
been
the
telling other
deepest
people to
voice
buy
of
this cool
any-
game?
You have the deepest voice of any woman I've ever gained. Some-
I'm just saying. I mean, didn't you just get back? Or am I misremembering?
No, I've been back. I've been back, son.
He's been there the whole time. We just haven't heard him.
No, he left.
Yeah.
He went for dinner and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna slide for a little bit.
Did you,
Whatever happens next, happens.
Did you play it at all? You said
I
you
have not.
downloaded it.
I have not. No.
Okay.
No, it finished downloading since we've been chit chatting. Like it was a very recent thing. I watched like a 5-minute video on it, and I was like, all right, fine. This is what Rick needs to be able to play his old dinosaur hardware with us
Oh my god. Really?
on the cool shit. Then fine, so be it. No, it looks fun. And the elements of progressing and getting out of there with shit, and that like upgrades your shit. That sounds fun. Sounds
I mean,
kinda
it's
interesting.
real cheesy the way it works. It's just like when you're going through modes, sometimes you'll find like little floppy drives, right? And then you just bring them out. And then at the end, whenever you get to, if you successfully get through somewhere, it'll also give everybody else like.
How many levels are to it, Rick?
8, I think.
They've added a bunch of new stuff. So it used to be only like 3 or 4 different like maps, but it looks like there's
No, how many rounds before you're free?
on
Waves?
those the original mode, it was like 4 different stages. So you start in a room and with like a couple of those arcades, so you can buy like your grenades or your you know what I mean, your grenades or your like heals, your little.
There's a
injectors
PvP
or whatever.
mode, right?
Yeah, there's also, they call it the Tundra Dome or something, where we can just go in and kill each other.
Very good. Yeah, I'm down to check it out. Maybe tomorrow. I'm pretty hooked on the sliding around. I'm not gonna lie. But if not, then 100% by over the weekend.
And then, but those, I think, so what happens is you work through a section, and then when you get done with that section, you like work yourself to another one of those rooms, right? And then you gotta get a chance to like grab some more fucking health or grenades or whatever you want.
Yeah, but
At the end, when you go to the guns and ammo, so that little where the firing range is, there's that
Yeah, I
little
know that,
metal
but
pieces to, yeah.
what you were
You'll
saying
go over
something
there.
about-
You'll go over there, put the gun you want to mod in that spot that's right there on the firing range, and then you'll grab that little gun to the arcade, click on it, tell it what you want to do, then it'll spit
Yeah, I
out
know
a
that,
piece.
but how do you unlock all that stuff?
Going through the modes and getting the little floppy disk, it'll give you just random different shit for different guns.
Oh, floppy disk here in the level.
Yeah, you'll find some like on the mode, the original mode, somewhere through there, there's usually 1 or 2 floppy drives, and then when you complete it, it'll give you another one. So depending on what level you complete it on, depends on like, are you getting like basic shit, or you know what I mean? Because there's like 4 levels of shit you can get from the guns, I think. Looks like it took a lot of shit. My wall used to be full. It's taking a lot of shit off my wall. Like I had one of everything, and I don't have one of everything. Or one of everything that was originally there. It's like it's like,
Alright, I'll be back around tomorrow, Chris.
Hi, brother.
Later.
Bro, it's hard to slide in these double deckers and wreck best bro.
That's such a fun game. Oh, I meant to make this a private room.
Seven. Yes.
There you go.
Still didn't.
Have you played with Rasmus at all lately?
Uh-uh.
No, me neither.
No. I think the last any of y'all played, to the best of my knowledge, the last any of us that played with him was that day he got off right before I got on. Apparently he just jumped on and lit y'all all a new ass for something, right? Like Dennis and y'all, or maybe he just went strictly after Dennis. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm not too sure what that was all about, really. To be honest. God damn this turn. Every time I fuck it up. Hmm. Bastard, this turn every time. One quick round, one last hit.
One quick hoorah, you know how it is, bro. Gotta do it dirty. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on who's on, you know what I mean? Just really depends on who the fuck is on.
What, you got like a whole, some sort of underground clique or something?
I got a whole fucking squad, bro. There's like fucking, I created SOS, bro, and there's like fucking 20 people that fly the banner right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's probably not true. It's probably about 16. 15, 16.
Right, but so you telling me like you get a couple of these guys in if we were gonna do, oh, I don't know, say like a gunfight night, or you know,
Probably, yeah.
something
Some
along
of them
those
just play the.
lines.
Yep, I'm sure. Yeah, we could. Or some multiplayer or whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I'm gonna kick over there for a minute. I'll catch you tomorrow. Enjoy your drifting.
Oh, damn right. Yeah, for sure. I'll be on.
All right, bro.
It'll be 420, and
It will be.
definitely gaming tomorrow. So
All right, brother.
I'll
Later.
catch you then. Later.
Yep.
Got him.